That was good. So welcome back, everybody. So if you're just now joining us, this is Woke Wednesdays. We do this every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Last week, we talked about speaking your truth. What is that like in moments where people are telling you to just shut up and sit down, shut up and dribble, speak your truth. Next week, we're talking about what does it mean to be a black woman. We have a panel of 4 brilliant, amazing black women. So we'll be talking about that. So a lot of things coming up. Tonight, we're talking about guns in schools. School shootings have been going on throughout the country. Most recently, Parkland, not too far from us, here in South Florida. And my name is Hershon Sanchez. I'm a second-year PhD student here at Florida International University. And we have amazing people on the show tonight. So if you could please introduce yourselves once again.
My name is Pamela Hernandez, and I am a third-year 8th grade language arts teacher.
And my name is Jason Fernandez. I am a 14th year social studies teacher.
So
high school social studies.
Sorry, I sipped my wine. So thanks so much to the both of you for being here tonight. So we want to start off with kind of asking them questions. These are phenomenal teachers who are in the schools every single day with our children. Some of y'all are parents, some are your students, some of you are teachers. What are some questions that y'all may have? And real quick, I have a kind of posing it out there, and I was talking to y'all about this before the show started. I teach an undergraduate course for pre-service teachers, and we brought up Parkland last week. We were talking about it, and about 50% of these students who will go on to be teachers, some of them are already substitute teaching, they believe that we should have armed guards walking up and down our hallways. This is not an alternative fact. This is what they told me. So I'm curious to just kind of, what do you think about the next generation of teachers coming in? Is pro everybody having guns in the school. Would you feel comfortable sending your children to a school like that? It's kind of one of the first things that come to mind.
First thing is, we're not a prison. Like, an armed guard walking up and down the hall, that's, whatever the prison term is for that, like, nah. If it comes down to that, we really, really screwed up public education in the United States. If it comes down to an armed guard walking up and down the hallway, that's crazy.
I think that I would not feel comfortable sending my child to a school where there is an armed guard. I feel like that sends a message of fear to the students, and I think that there are other alternatives to protecting our children and our school environment. And I just feel like school is supposed to be a place that is your second home and where you're comfortable and you're safe, and I don't think that an armed guard gives off that vibe.
Right. And especially us being Florida, we know it's not going to be a cop. We know it's not going to be an official from the state. It's going to be Wackenhut. It's going to be like some private security company that was subcontracted to do it, and we've seen the issues with that, or with those organizations as they kind of like privatize prisons and things of that nature. You're not going to get the best and brightest. You're going to get the people that get the least amount of money to do that job to be the ones to be walking up and down that hallway. And
someone here is saying we aren't in an airport, but it's interesting because some schools have metal detectors, the wand. Like I went to school for a bit, like clear book bags. So this does happen at those schools, and for the most part, we don't really see school shootings there. For the most part, we don't see school shootings in most schools, right? Like, being honest, like, we had 17, right? And how many public schools are there in the country? Thousands? Mm-hmm. So that's not, I don't want to use Trump words, but that's not a lot. So this isn't an often thing, but we're seeing that it's becoming more and more reoccurring. I wonder if this was happening before, but with social media, it's just kind of been magnified. I do wonder that, how often it happened before. Maybe that's something to look into. But some of the students are asking, like, do you think someone who is professionally trained or martial arts or something, this is a serious question. And it's a student's question, so we don't want to ignore it. So, what do y'all think about that?
What, like
martial arts person? I don't know.
I
Jackie Chan.
definitely think that I met with my students after this, horrific thing happened, and we were talking about like different alternatives to guns, and one of the things that we talked about was like learning like jujitsu or like learning martial arts as another form of defense that's not guns, because a lot of people make the argument that I need a gun to defend myself, and so we were thinking about what are alternative ways of defending ourselves, and I was like, let's tase people, instead of a gun, or let's learn some type of like martial arts. I remember when I was in college, and I always tell my students this, in FSU I took a rape aggression defense class, and it was all about if you were in a situation and someone was coming to approach you, or like if you were being grabbed or if someone was holding you, like how to get out of it, and it was all about different like techniques to use in order to get away and run away, not to sit there and fight or attack, but just kind of to get away and then run. And I felt like that was super duper effective. I was just walking around college like, who's about to touch me? I'm ready, And you know what? For me, I felt more ready using my own body and my own mind and learning these different techniques to defend myself than if I would have had a gun. Someone who has never had any experience with a gun. I think that it's also less. For me, I feel less anxiety learning like a martial arts type of thing rather than shooting a gun. I don't know how effective security guards, like if all of our security guards would do some martial arts, I don't know how effective that would be. But I think that there should be other alternatives than armed security guards.
So what's interesting about that is that we oftentimes, when it comes to rape, especially sexual assault, we oftentimes put it on the woman. Right? What was she wearing? What was she doing? Why was she there? What was she drinking?
Yeah.
Who was she with? Let's teach her combat.
Yeah.
Right? But we rarely put it on
the men.
The men who are actually causing the raping.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like part of me feels like we are seeing a similar thing when it comes to these guns let's give the teachers the guns.
Yeah.
As opposed to let's address these other issues that are leading people to actually do these things.
Yeah.
Right? Real quick, someone's asking, are you an FSU alum?
I am. Go Noles.
Actually, I am too.
Oh my gosh. Go Noles.
So we're not gonna support this type of behavior on the show. Real quick. Let's see. Who are these people? So Miss Curly FIU. Go ahead. Talk about FIU. Oh Lord, someone else is FSU alum. So let's get away from this. So these are pre-service teachers that are going to be teachers. Like, part of me is just curious. How do you feel like knowing that a next generation of teachers is thinking like this? That tells us how do you, like, that's crazy.
Look, until educators get paid a decent wage in South Florida, that's what you're gonna see, or like anywhere in the United States, but more especially South Florida. Like you're not gonna get the best. I don't know your student. I'm no shade, but you're not gonna get the best and the brightest for the most part. You're gonna get the people that either A, really need a job, or B, somebody that's like super passionate about it and really doesn't care about the money. So that's the unfortunate world that we live in. Like I remember the early studies where the lowest GPAs coming out of high school in finding college majors was in education, because they know that they would get a job. So that's kind of where we're at. So that's why I'm really not surprised with that viewpoint. So question, and excuse my ignorance, is it true that most teachers that come out, like, listen, like the new teachers to like the bad schools, is that true? And by bad I mean, well, I mean, you have programs like Teach for America where they're automatically put into like kind of the more underperforming schools. That's the euphemism, underperforming. Right. That's a nice way to put it. But so you have that, but it's just like, what's available, where can I go? And and then when we see incidents like what happened at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, that's the good school. Stuff's not supposed to happen at the good school, and it's unfortunate, but schools are schools. There's a meme going around that in hood schools this don't happen.
Yeah, I saw it. It was like, oh, they have metal detectors in hood schools, but you don't see that in hood schools, right? Yeah. So you don't see shootings in hood schools.
I knew friends who had guns in schools, and they never shot up
Right.
Anybody? Like, some of my boys would be.
Right.
They were like MS-13. Like, they'll wait till after school's over. Like, to get
across the street.
Across the
Yes,
street.
I'll meet you in the park.
But in school, it's
Yes.
not happening.
Yeah,
Right. And
definitely.
that's the thing, man.
It's the privilege of like.
I do wonder if there's a correlation between class, wealth, affluence,
Yeah. But
whiteness, masculinity. I do wonder that that's something I think to kind of look up. So I know these teachers have had a long day. They're hanging out with us tonight. So please, questions, because we don't have any. We'll kind of end it. Someone's telling me to scroll up. Let me see. I don't know. I have no idea what question they're talking about. People are talking about Florida State. No, don't need to get into that. What are your thoughts on Carvalho's potential exit?
oh no, he's leaving. So there's not no potential.
Who is that?
Our
sorry.
Alberto Carvalho is
Oh.
the superintendent for Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and
Why?
he's going to be the chancellor of education in New York City.
Whoa.
Yeah, I saw that report come out. Yeah.
I did not see that report.
I did not see that report come out either. Wow.
Gotta be
I
asleep.
know.
You gotta be on
Sleep.
top of it, man.
Sleep.
But
Damn,
yeah,
sleep.
that's the rumor, but it was reported in the news earlier today.
Wow. Okay. So now, what does this happen for Miami-Dade? Someone's saying yes. Some people are excited about this. This is good.
I like Carvalho.
Yeah. You know.
He's he was a classroom teacher. He taught at Miami Jackson. He became an administrator, and he climbed the ranks through the Dade County Public School system. And although I don't teach in Dade, I know people that have interactions with him, and they're like, he's on point.
Yeah, I am. I do teach in Miami-Dade County, but I am a third-year teacher, so I really haven't had a lot of experience, with Carvalho. However, I did meet him too when I worked as an AmeriCorps member in City Year, and when I met him. You hate City Year?
Absolutely.
I feel like City Year really prepared me for teaching, though.
That's a whole other Woke Wednesday.
I know.
City Year.
Oh my gosh.
I hate TFA. I hate everybody.
Yeah,
hate everybody.
but I met him, and
Yeah.
he supports City Year, so that's my only experience that I have with Carvalho. So I mean,
Yeah. So I don't know anything about him, but yeah. So I guess we're getting a new person.
yeah, I guess so.
Hopefully they'll be, I guess, good.
Yeah, I guess.
Hopefully. Alright, cool. So I think we've addressed most of our questions. I want to thank y'all for coming out tonight. Y'all were phenomenal. Please give a shout out to your students and your social justice clubs. Please tell us a little bit about it, because that's amazing what you're doing. Yeah.
So shout out to all of my students. Shout out to all the 8th graders at the school that I teach. Shout out to the Social Justice Club Second Circle. What you guys are doing is amazing. What we are doing is amazing. A lot of people are not gonna understand it. A lot of people are not gonna get it. A lot of people are gonna hate you for it. But for every hater that we have out there, for every person that doesn't understand our purpose, there will be hundreds more who believe us, who will back us up. And you are not too young to be powerful. You are not too young to be educated. You are not too young to be engaged. And you know what? Just you guys taking the time to, watch me and watch Woke Wednesday and, just participate in this discussion. It just shows me that, we're all part of a movement, and you guys are the next generation, and you guys give me hope, and you guys just inspire me each and every day to do what I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm.
I love you. I love all of you.
I'm about to go protest right now. Give me some pen and paper. Alright, Staples. Jace, what's up, man?
Look, to the students out there, get active. Your voice is bigger than you think. It's just a matter of making sure that it's heard. So, it's been a pleasure to be on this.
Man, I appreciate y'all coming through. I know y'all are teachers, but y'all gotta be at school in the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning, so it's a big. I know this is a big commitment. I know. Thank y'all so much for coming on the show and talking about this. This is something that we need to talk about, and we'll continue to talk about this. I wonder if this will still be news, in 2 weeks.
No, probably.
I wonder if people will still care about this in 2 weeks. But thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, make sure to tune in. What does it mean to be a black woman? Thank y'all again for coming out. Shout out to teachers everywhere in the struggle. So thank you so much, y'all. Have a good night. Thank you. Excuse me.